Aloha hoku ohana. Thank you guys so much for joining me here for your reading. This is about you being watched by many invisible eyes. So let's open up with our first astral travel message. And this is about the royal watchers in the sky. I was basically seeing somebody who's reviewing their experience in the third dimension, and they were really trying to figure out where they experienced the most amount of luck, the most amount of auspicious energy, synchronicities, fated alignments, destined encounters, opportunities, things of this nature, and how they could begin to, let's not say manifest, but let's say align with this in a more conscious co-creation with the benevolent forces that were supporting these well-aligned collisions, okay? And where they could basically activate, luck or preparation of the soul coming into alignment with opportunities for further expansion in this realm. So royal watchers are the royal watchers in the sky. It's the cardinal watchers that are encoded into your field at the time of birth that guide you throughout this incarnation. All right, it's almost like the blueprint of the avatar in which your higher self has incarnated into to navigate this third dimensional realm. So according to your energetic frequency, these archangels are aspected in different areas of your chart, and you can begin to work very consciously with them as soon as you begin to become conscious of them. All right, so you guys may want to look at that. I actually do offer that reading of the royal watchers in the sky for a birth chart read, but that's not here nor there. This is about observing versus engaging. Okay, that's what this scene is about. So this is how your guides are like. That's what is being shown. It's almost like they're kind of on the edge of their seat, and they're called the watchers in a way where they're watching you observe, or either become a passive observer of your life or become more of a conscious sovereign creator. And this is where you could be even sitting on the sidelines or sitting on the edge of your chair thinking about doing something but not actually taking action and supporting your earthly manifestations, right? Action is a huge part of this physical process, right? Physical action. So it's a lot of intuitive nudges that you're feeling, right? The divine feminine through the invisible, non-physical side of yourself, the timeless part of yourself, the eternal part of yourself. And that non-physical aspect is guiding you, and you are more non-physical than the physical. The physical just feels a lot more dense, okay? And the energy that was coming through is that you're supporting the non-physical desires, right? Which are your higher self's desires and intentions before this incarnation, and being able to align your actions with those intentions, and that unfolds your dharma, right? Where you're actually rapidly manifesting. I'm hearing a one-way road into your highest expansion. That's actually what it feels like here. Not that there's one road there, but there's a one way in regards to once you become aware of this alignment that happens within you and this integration, there's no going back to the way that things once were, okay, or used to be. Maybe some of you already surpassed that point. But they align with a person, again, thing, or opportunities that can assist your soul's highest expansion, yet the royal watchers cannot interfere with them, okay? It cannot interfere with your free will. They cannot infringe or force their will upon you. This is about giving the human, right? Giving you guys that free will, whether you're aware of it or not. And it's up to you whether you also want to become receptive or choose to be receptive to the people that may come into your experiences. Because I'm seeing not like side eye, but it kind of is like a roll eye energy of, oh, okay, here's Bobby, he's done it again. Like, we've just put him into alignment with someone who he has a past life connection with, or who, someone who there's some kind of pre-soul agreement, and he's just, okay, that's fine. He's, again, no judgment, but he's chosen not to be receptive to this. Okay, let's bring in someone new. It's that type of energy. So there's a lot. It's almost like, okay, let's give Shannon the opportunity to, really act upon this skill and ability. This is the perfect time. There's a portal date. The stars are aligned in her favor. Oh, okay, she's chosen not to do it. Okay, that's fine. Let's let's see when that next window of opportunity may come in. But that's the energy that's coming around. It's almost like windows of opportunities are opening up for you, and there's almost a short amount of time that you have to take action upon something where the energy is most aligned with your favor and your highest possible expansion. And it's almost like a leverage point. That's almost what it feels like instant portals that are being opened up for you during this time. And it's whether or not you want to open up to that portal, right? Maybe opening up to a new version of yourself, or the portal in which you connect to somebody in the timeline that opens up as a result of that connection. Maybe being able to allow people to connect with something that you've done, and that opens up new portals of opportunity. You know, there's so many different various plethora of ways that this can play out for you, but I'm sure you get the drift. So yeah, it does represent some kind of subconscious repetition where you may necessarily not take action upon something because you've been waiting for clarity, whereas it's you actually taking action upon something where the path begins to become clear, right? And the path begins to unfold. So that's the first scene, which is the Royal Watchers. And scene 2, I'm hearing pull a card on it first. So let's go and take a look at the Cosmos Oracle and see what the Royal Watchers energy is. Maybe we'll do this one a little bit different. Okay, we have the Cosmic Network, which is literally this hidden wellspring of knowledge that you're attuned into. It talks about, you know, Nikola Tesla and Dalai Lama and Jung and Shakespeare and all of these different, you know, brilliant inventors that are pulling information from hidden sources. And it's almost like you get the intuitive hits. It's around if you want to act upon this or not, okay? And then you also have the void. So this is intuitive hits that you have through empty space. It's through you just sitting in that stillness where what you need to hear gets loud and you're hearing it, but are you listening to it? Okay, you're hearing the guidance, you're hearing the voice of the soul, you're hearing it, you're hearing of things that are existing in energetic potential right now in the quantum field. Are you acting upon that? Because it's your action that begins to align you with these specific timelines, okay? The action is the third, right? The action is the blend of listening to those intuitive hits, supporting the desires of the soul, and that creates the third, the triad, how this third dimensional construct is formed, how you form creation, how you begin to create in this third dimensional terrestrial plane. Okay, so it's very, very interesting there. Maybe there's a fear of the comfort zone. I mean, a fear of, yeah, maybe there's a fear of coming out of your comfort zone in some way, but that's the energy that's coming through here. Okay, scene 2, we have act on your aspirations, and as you do, you'll inspire so many. So you guys were speaking to a teacher, and she was basically talking about this drawing that you did. It was this third dimensional sketch. It was so beautiful. It was this blueprint that you had created, and it was like this round thing, and it almost had these different screws coming through it, but it was so complex. It was something that it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you actually drew this. Like, this is the blueprint. And everybody was admiring, especially this teacher, how smart this design was. So it's almost like I'm seeing so many supporting factors in your energy, like physical and non-physical, that are all literally seeing this blueprint unfold in your life. It's whether you want to align yourself with that blueprint, right? So sketching shows creation and manifestation. Again, maybe this is about a desire to create some kind of tangible result in your life, to manifest your ideas into reality. And the blueprint represents planning, direction, and the foundation for your future goals and aspirations. It suggests a need to create a clear roadmap for the vision of your life, or that you're currently in a phase of strategizing and laying the groundwork for something significant, okay? So you could feel like you're laying out the foundation. This blueprint is almost like a foundation in which you can build a solid structure upon, and you can build something, whether it's a career for yourself, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a new chapter in your life. So maybe you're like, oh, I want to be able to, let's just say, build this career, but I know that in order to be able to do this, I need to be able to learn A, B, and C so that I can begin to do X, Y, and Z. It's almost like you're building that foundation, right? That is going to be built to last. Maybe you're like, oh, I want a relationship, but I feel like I need to kind of get rid of this habit, or I want to be able to step forward with the best version of myself, so I feel like I want to be able to do this. Or maybe I'm trying to cultivate a new relationship with myself, and I know that there's certain things that are aligned with my highest expression, and there's certain things that are not aligned with my highest expression. So let's begin to do that filtering process, right? so that we can begin to step into this concentrated, potent, powerful force that we are. So it's that type of energy that's coming through for you guys, right? Maybe you're like, I need to be able to study A, B, and C, or I need to be able to do A, B, and C for myself. So that when X, Y, and Z comes along, I can begin to, you know, really embrace that cycle. So yeah, it's some type of new beginning for your life. It could be a new phase, it could be a new project of some kind, but you're laying the groundwork for future success. So the action that you're taking with A, B, and C right now is literally altering your future timelines, right? The timelines that become accessible to you, because it's as you learn this thing, this new door of opportunity is now readily available for you. You know, it's like as you begin to do this thing and maybe put yourself out there in some way, okay, now you're putting yourself in an exposure where now X, Y, and Z timelines become available to you, because G, F, and D have been able to see you because you did A, B, and C, you know, and that's aligning you with X, Y, and Z. I'm sure you guys understand what I'm saying, but there's so many different facets to this. So let's go ahead and pull a card on this energy actually with scene 2. Let's take a look at this. We have surface. Okay, so there's something again that you're doing that is creating a great foundation, right? This could be things that you're doing with Pulsar. This is the foundation that you guys are building. Pulsar is going to lead to a short and intense journey. So it's almost like once you do A, B, and C, the rest of the alphabet just becomes, I'm hearing easy work. I'm hearing it's light work, right? So this could definitely, it could make things so much easier for yourself. That's what I'm hearing, because you don't have to worry about, oh, going back and then doing this. It's allowing you to be fully present and show up already as the best version of yourself. So let's go ahead and see. Surface. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's see. Oh my goodness, where is it? Surface, here we go. Okay, going deeper. The outer extremity of the bodies, which limits and separates everything that surrounds it. External appearance without depth of understanding. Shallow. Ooh. Beauty without depth is just decoration, right? There's something when it comes to the depths of your being and actually being able to feel fully confident for this thing. So this could be about a new role that you're going to play. I'm also hearing in society, I'm seeing the hat card in the TD message. So it's almost like you're going to be playing a new role soon. And there's a need, I'm hearing, to not feel like this is almost imposter syndrome, but to feel completely aligned with this. It's like, how are you putting yourself fully into alignment with it? And this is, again, some type of internal work that you're doing. You know, it's something that either you're studying and that's changing. I'm hearing your brain chemistry of some kind. You're reinforcing some kind of new system within yourself. It's where you, I'm hearing like, it almost feels as if it starts as a, you know, a routine, and then eventually becomes a habit, and then it eventually becomes just a part of who you are and your innate essence. So I feel like there's something that you're new that you're absorbing. Maybe this is information, right? Maybe there's something new that you're wanting to learn, like a skill, and then it just becomes something that you can just do on autopilot, you know? It kind of reminds me of that. Maybe it's a instrument that you're trying to learn, and then you're actually able to memorize certain chords or certain notes, and then I'm hearing it just begins to play a song of its own. So it's almost like this is something with Pulsar. Again, it becomes a short and intense trip where there's intervals that happen and where you're going on this uphill climb, and then it just all happens for itself. So it's like, again, you're setting the foundation. That's the hardest part, right? It's like you're having to uproot. Yeah, I'm hearing planting the seeds is the easy part. It's the uprooting something. You know, when you uproot something in like an allotment or something, or a garden, and you're uprooting all of the, you know, parasitic belief systems, right? You're uprooting all of the, you know, any what they called, not leeches, but just, I can only think of parasites right now, but the weeds, right? You're rooting out any weeds that are not congruent with the highest expression of yourself, or this thing, okay? So surface alludes to the superficiality of something, someone, without internalizing it. So you're getting to the root cause of something, right? What are the certain belief systems that I've been holding on to, right? What are the certain things that I've been reinforcing within myself that are not in alignment with this, right? So the outer layer of an onion of the earth of human beings, what is there beyond what is seen on the surface? So this is actually going to change the way that you show up in the world, because you've changed from the inside out. It's not just this mask that you're now putting on around, okay, now I'm doing this thing and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna show up in this. No, this is deep internal work. Again, this is the depth of your being. It's not just superficial, right? It's beauty without depth is simply just decoration. Are you just decorating the outside, right? It's like painting. It's like paint that's already stripping off and it's cracked and you're trying to paint a mural on it. It's really, it's not going to be something substantial. It's not going to hold in the depth of your being. You're not even going to believe in yourself. It's like the paint is just going to flick away. So yeah, there's something around that, really being able to strip something down within yourself of some kind. You're seeing what is needed for that foundation right now within yourself, okay? Which is super interesting. And once you do that, it makes this new layer of paint, oh, it goes on oh so smoothly, right? The mural can stay there for decades, for all of time. That's the energy that's coming through. Wow. How powerful. I wonder what that is. Okay, so yeah, that was scene 2. Let's go ahead and take, that's the blueprint, all right? That's the blueprint, that's the sketch. Because if the blueprint is wrong, if the sketch is wrong, right? If the foundation has cracks or faulty belief systems, right? Things that are not in alignment with your values, or it's built on illusions or lies that you've told yourself or others, that's a foundation that is already compromised. That's what this is. Are you building this upon a foundation that is compromised? It kind of reminds me of a scene I'm seeing where it's like someone applying for a position, but they have absolutely no like certificates or experience or just anything for it. And it's like, yeah, you can talk the talk, but when it's time to walk the walk, are you actually walking the walk, you know? That's what this is. And I feel like there's still something left to learn for you. It's like what all students and teachers of life, the more that you learn, the more that you know there is to learn, right? It's not like, oh, I know everything already that there is. I know everything there is to know. No, I think there is something new that you're beginning to learn about yourself here. Okay, let's go and take a look at scene 3. Not everyone will understand the calling because it wasn't a conference call. Okay, so in this scene, I saw you guys having shaved ice of some kind, and shaved ice represents some kind of fresh start or clarity that you have in your life, perhaps even a period of emotional detachment, or that's how it seems. And you wanted to bring a pack of ice to these kids. It was almost like a water park situation or a swimming kind of situation, and you were being admired and observed by this teacher, and they were taking notes about you doing some type of positive act, and it was seen in a very great light. Like you were seen in a very great light due to the action that you were taking. Ice packs show a need for cooling down, so this could be about reducing the feeling of feeling overwhelmed of some kind. I also saw a mystic, and you basically said that she was like a Barbie in the way where she had this Libra sun archetype, and Libra sun is actually in its fall here, and it can be because it's about the self, but it's almost like you can compromise yourself or reduce or dim your light because you don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. So you can kind of go about these roundabout ways of either receiving love or showing up for yourself in these loving ways. There's almost like, oh, I don't want to shine my light too bright because otherwise I feel like I'm kind of stepping on other people's toes or I'm making others feel uncomfortable. You know, that's in its fall, that's in its shadow. And this person felt like they came off like happy-go-lucky, but there was something so much deeper to themselves. And this is almost like the surface energy, right? And it was so much deeper, and she thought that she hadn't shown it, but you could see it. So behind the charm, you told her that there was this smile at this encounter, right? This beauty. But it didn't mean that it was just a mask. She could still be happy while there still is this depth. She could still be confident while still feeling, you know, like there's insecurities about some things, right? Maybe there's certain things that she feels like are imperfect, but she's able to rock those imperfections of some kind. So there's something around that for you. And she had cultivated this internal harmony where there was this paradox of maybe her being seen as just a happy, confident, happy-go-lucky person, but she could also walk the walk because she has made peace with her imperfections, right? So there's that type of energy that's showing up. So maybe this is doing something before you feel fully prepared, knowing that you're never really going to feel prepared, but you still are ready to show up for yourself in ways that you haven't done before, right? So there's that type of energy. So we'll go ahead and put a vibe on this. Yeah, we have stratus pause here too. And then again, you have the surface that came out right before. So let's go ahead and read Stratus pause. This talks about perfect balance, right? Certainty and protection. No, that's not. That's stratosphere. This talks about a transitional stage, transformation led by personal choice. So again, there's some type of transformation that's going on within you because you're choosing something different, maybe even before you feel ready, right? Maybe it's knowing that this is something that needs to be addressed within you. We'll see what it is, but it's a transitional phase. It's almost like you're getting comfortable with this new normal. Maybe it's putting yourself out there in ways that you haven't done before, and that feels kind of vulnerable. You know, I feel like a lot of this really is about vulnerability and how vulnerable you are with yourself. Even though I'm hearing your fear may not be obvious to others, you could still be feeling that within, right? Other people hear you speak, but they're not, they don't hear your voice shaking like you think they do. Okay, there's that type of energy that's going on with you. So yeah, it's black or white, yes or no. It's almost like, where do you want to come from? And this is a brief transition that you're going through before you can feel comfortable in this new way of being, right? It's almost like where you're developing this new skill, and then it's the first time that you're revealing it to anyone, or it's the first time that you're kind of pitching this thing that you've worked so hard for, and you're worried about possibly how that's going to be received, or if you're going to mess up, or maybe it's right before a big show and then you're on stage and now it feels like the pressure is on. That's what it feels like. It feels like something's brewing and the pressure is on. And with Stratus pause, eventually you're going to be able to do this without feeling any pressure at all. Eventually it's going to just be a state of being, but there's almost a new version of self that you're getting acquainted with. And it's not even a new version of self. It feels like something that's always been within you, but you're releasing old thought forms or belief systems that you had been acquainted with, realizing that they are no longer a companion on your journey. So maybe this is old narratives, right? Maybe it's old opinions that you've had of yourself. Maybe it's the self-critic within. That is no longer a companion that you want on your journey here. And even if it is going to be there, you choose whether you want to listen to that or not, okay? So there's some kind of depth or internal, something going on within your psyche where the soul's urging to do certain things, but the mind is almost trying to become louder than the voice of the soul. That's almost what it feels like. Super interesting. Scene 4 I call ontological inerrata. Prevention is easier than trying to reverse. So in this scene, you guys were in a platform on the sky in a floating balloon of some kind, and you wanted to make sure that you were kind of spread out in this platform so that it didn't begin to tumble, and you could feel every single imbalance. Everyone that was kind of moving and they were not in harmony with themselves led to there being a whole different kind of, you know, internal and external disruption, okay? And they weren't able to find harmony within this platform in the sky. So you wanted to make sure it didn't tumble. You were placing yourself very strategically, even though others were not necessarily in harmony with themselves, which led to them kind of showing up in ways that were almost could be disruptive to you if you chose for that to, or you could keep maneuvering yourself and placing yourself strategically to find that balance within the oppositions, or find some kind of internal balances within the external, I'm hearing even opinions of some kind. So it was easier to do this before chaos hit, right? It was easier to kind of place yourself strategically according to where others were, okay? So the balloons were moving in every direction, and eventually you were moving from this sky to the floor, and you bypassed all of these electrical lines that could have shot down the balloon, but because you were placing yourself strategically, you managed to land something perfectly. So maybe this is about the opinions of others, right? Seeing how that's linked to their own personal history, and that's a confession of themselves. Okay, it's a confession of where, you know, you placing yourself strategically or doing something makes them feel uncomfortable because they feel a lack of control over you. Maybe it's knowing who you are, because if you don't know who you are, the world will try to tell you who you are. There's that type of energy that's going on here, right? Maybe the opinions of others are not your burden to carry. It's that type of energy. So there's almost a strategic dance that's going on here where you can sustain harmony while you're dancing with others that may have two left feet. So Yeah, floating platforms represent some kind of desire for independence and feeling detached from, worries, maybe even the worries of others that are being projected upon you. That's not something that you have to absorb. I'm hearing that's something that you don't even have to reflect back. You are reflecting a different example, a different way of being. So yeah, there's something about knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't, and saying, okay, I pass this back to you, that's for you to carry. I'm not going to be holding on to the weight of your opinion. And realizing that all cruelty also springs from weakness. Usually that unsolicited advice I'm hearing tells you more about the needs of the giver than the needs of the receiver, right? So detachment and perspective as well. So being able to see things from both angles, again, understanding, okay, there's something within this person that's kind of being projected right now. Not that you're judging them, but it's time to understand them rather than trying to talk to them to be understood, right? So yeah, some type of positive direction that you're moving towards. The electrical lines represent revelations that you could be experiencing when it comes to your earthly journey, and maybe a spiritual connection that you have that's assisting you when it comes to a safe landing. And it represents bioelectricity as well, in terms of the exchange of your life force. Okay, so it's like you don't really want to bother explaining something to someone who may hear you but not really listen, right? Something that goes in one ear and out the other. It's that type of energy. That's a parasitic energy exchange. There is no return on that investment of energy in some way. It's just your emotional state should not be dependent upon if others understand you, if others change their opinion upon you or not. It's okay to not be liked by everyone, okay? The people that will really understand you will understand you, and they will really resonate with you. You have to change the way that you do things, who you are, how you show up, to suit other people's needs. Otherwise, you'll slowly end up becoming a real big stranger to yourself, okay? And people will like, not even you, but a version of yourself that you've created as a survival mechanism to not be judged, or, to be liked. And they don't even like the true you. They like a version of yourself that, is almost like a distorted, morphed mutation of who you truly are. So that's the energy that's coming through. Kind of reminds you of the Libra sun detriment. So power and energy, electrical lines represent, again, some kind of surge of energy or potential in your life, and breakthroughs. So you're on the verge of a significant breakthrough, and you're always going to face the most level of resistance, maybe when it comes to the external stimuli, to maintain internal harmony despite what's going on around you. Don't allow your internal harmony and state of being to be dependent upon solely if somebody sees you. If somebody likes you, again, if they really truly see you. Maybe others will only see the beauty, right? But they won't see your depth. So they will just see it as decoration. They will just see the mural, but they didn't see the paint that had to be stripped off of the wall in order to be able to create this new foundation in which the mural now lies upon. They see that after the dark night of the soul, but they haven't seen what it is that you've gone through in the trenches, right? So there is something about understanding that, okay? Understanding that process. And I'm hearing also being able to observe where others may have painted murals upon paint that has already been cracked. So I'm sure you can understand the reference. Right, let's go ahead and take a look at this. We'll get a card for this and see what this is. X-rays. You can see what others cannot. X-rays is about looking at life through the eyes of the soul and kind of operating on the plane of consciousness that you are on, and being able to observe also what plane of consciousness others may be operating in, okay? And with ultraviolet, these are two things which cannot be seen. These are the things that cannot be seen, right? You use X-rays to look at what cannot be seen. Ultraviolet is about what happens internally within someone. Where can you observe how all cruelty springs from weakness? Some cruel acts from others, right? Some cruel words or whatever this is. It tells you more about the internal wars that somebody is having within themselves. And for that, you can only really extend compassion. You can only extend the compassion that they're not able to give to themselves right now. So X-rays, the ability to pass through an opaque body. This talks about, again, seeing beyond the human vision, looking at these interactions through the eyes of the soul. Because What happens when you do that is that you begin to see everybody as a light being and how well they hold that light in their own truth within their vessel, and where they may try to reject that light, okay? Because when you look at life through the eyes of the soul and even the crown chakra, you can see where others are dimming their own light. You can see where others may feel uncomfortable with their own light, with their own truth, with being in the present moment, with being able to own the shadow, right? And the light. You unconsciously become your shadow if you do not integrate it. And that shadow comes up in ways that are unbeknown to those who have not yet gone through that integration process. So, yeah, it's a very, very interesting energy. You see awareness that has not become conscious yet of all of itself, but is on that journey to it. So you begin to hold space for it. For there was a time where perhaps you began to paint a mural upon a foundation that was not totally congruent with your highest expression. So this is about the ability to look at life through the third eye and trust what you can see, right? What it is that you can see, not what it is that you're looking at, but the dissonance between others, right? That dissonance. And I'm hearing, don't expect everyone to see all of you when they can only see very compartmentalized versions of themselves. They prefer to just look at aspects that they want to see. And it reminds me of, there are some who do not want to be seen and some who do not want to be shown. Everyone's on their own personal journey to enlightenment and awareness. So there is a level of unconditional acceptance and unconditional love in that circumstance. Unconditional love is to say, okay, I accept you as you are, but also I place you in vicinity of where you belong according to how I operate. Sometimes that self-love looks like boundaries, right? So that's the energy that's coming up. Even energetic boundaries between, okay, this is what you're currently dealing with. I'm not choosing to take that on. That's energetic hygiene. Yeah, so X-rays, super interesting energy. Trusting, again, what it is that you can see. It talks about all scientists will trust what the X-rays show them, even though they do not have the ability to verify it with their own human vision. So looking at the interior of a body. This is symmetrical geometry within the body, holding that light and truth and consciousness within your vessel. Others who may not hold that level of consciousness within their vessel. It's consciousness that's still sleeping, consciousness that's still waking up, right? Consciousness that right now is kind of rejecting its own truth. So let's go and take a look at scene 5. And you're very big of vision, which means that you're big of heart, right? Those who are not big of heart will be very narrow in vision. You can try to get them to see some things, but they'll only look at what's on the surface, right? They may just look at what they prefer to. Right, scene 5, we'll leave this as a surprise as well. So scene 5 is meeting yourself from an outside perspective. What would it be like to see yourself through the eyes of another? Well, I suppose that depends upon the one that you're looking at yourself through, right? The eyes that you're looking at yourself through. But what would it be like to meet you through your own eyes? So speaking, you were speaking to someone about soul contracts, and you were speaking to yourself. Someone was yourself. You were meeting yourself. And you realized that you were actually a really interesting archetype to meet in this third dimensional construct and to come into alignment with. So it's like you came into a soul contract with yourself. And I do feel like this is the relationship that your higher self has always had with your vessel before it incarnated into it. And that's why it was like, okay, I chose you. You know, you were called forth by your ancestors. You were called forth and you were chosen, and you had chosen to come into alignment and resonance with this vessel. So it was less about you versus another based upon who was viewing you, and it was more about what you can teach each other, right? Through this aid of a mirror, others showing you who you are. because real soul growth, I'm hearing the expertise comes in when you're not trying to change or impart anything around you. You change the way that you respond to it. Yeah, so yeah, I'm hearing like response versus a reaction. Okay, a reaction is based off of survival, a response is based off of the higher mind. So if somebody doesn't like you or they don't like the way you do things, you can react, right? And you can reflect that wound. Or you can choose to respond, right? Taking time to be able to respond. Sometimes the best response is no response whatsoever. So you were helping a girl who had also fallen, and you tried to get her to grab your leg because she was kind of downhill. The hill was like this, you were standing here, and she was kind of falling there, and you stretch out your leg. You were like, here, hold my leg, grab onto my leg. And she fell down, but her response time was not as fast as yours. And you kind of began laughing because you were thinking about how you were untouched by this boulder or whatever was coming down the hill. And it was another layer of like protection that you had, which was this lens of discernment. When it comes to an energetic barrier that you have, or this energetic layer of protection when engaging and exchanging your life force, right? You're exchanging with parasitic energy exchanges or ones that are healing and conducive for your highest expansion. Nobody else would have survived that fall. Not to mention you also thrive for the fall and you laughed it off. So yeah, don't expect everyone to have as fast as a response time as you do. I'm hearing like the vision or insight or foresight that you have, maybe being able to see, you know, the dissonance or disharmony that others have within themselves. Just see it and acknowledge it and accept it. That's what it is. And know how you want to align your actions accordingly. And you have cosmic ether. So yeah, you're traveling in this realm. It kind of looks like a UFO, right? But with an otherworldly knowledge with the cosmic ether. Let's go ahead and read some of this. It's a very condensed message. Cosmic ether talks about the enigma that only you can solve, and it's a controversy. Because again, there could be things that you want to say naturally that are controversial to how, you know, other people may know themselves to be. But yeah, it's a super interesting energy. This is almost like a medium. So an enigma in which only you can solve. Being able to be aware of other shadows because you become aware of those shadows within yourself. It's that type of energy. So yeah, it's a super, super interesting energy. It's a controversial, maybe viewpoint or perspective that you have. It's this higher, broader, universal truth in which others may have this limited filter perception. So yeah, it's super interesting. This also shows like seeing is believing or believing is seeing. Anything else? We refer to the medium through which light spreads the message, even though we know that the human eye is unable to see all types of light. Ergo, it may be that we are leaving out much more than a light spectrum by only relying on tangible, visible, endorsed, verified facts. The human who seeks to understand everything will only understand everything when he stops wanting to understand. So there's something around being able to identify, acknowledge, accept, and move on, and not attached to trying to understand completely. Well, someone doesn't like me. Well, why don't they like me? Okay, well, they don't like an aspect of themselves. You don't need to focus on so much. There's something about the resonant wound, like if you're attached to that thought, right, or you're reinforcing that, then there's some type of resonant wound that you're rejecting within yourself. Maybe it's an ability to seek external acceptance in parts of yourself that you cannot fully accept. You know, it's almost like there is some kind of verified energy that you're going to be able to see, accept, extend compassion to, and move on from. And moving through that life with that level of fluidity. That's almost the energy that's coming through here as well. Okay, last scene. The last scene is called the Breakfast of Champions. You guys were climbing up a hill and some kind of stop or camp was there, and it was like a breakfast buffet of some kind, and there were pancakes. And there was all different kind of characters there, but uphill represents you continuing to move forward in your life with progress. It represents with how you interact with others in life as well with the pancakes. And you were trying to figure out if somebody was real or not, if it was a catfish account, and you sent them the wrong address, yet they ended up finding the name for someone that you were supposed to meet, and they still made it to the right place. So it gives me an energy of some things that will just be. And there is a place unseen by ordinary eyes, a gathering of those destined for greatness. It's not built on wealth or status, but on the fire of the divine calling, right? One of you said that in the I think it was Matthew, in the comment section the other day, and I was like, this fits in very, very well. So there's something very significant in regards to a gathering that's unfolding. Things that are supposed to be will be in your life, and you're going to see how you have some kind of mastery in what it is that you want to consciously co-create with, okay? What it is that you want to consciously co-create with. Booking that in and showing up for that appointment. Right, let's see what this is. DNA. So this could be about, again, the appointment with your soul, some type of memory, okay? Some type of memory, some type of gift that you want to be able to use to create in this experience. It could be a demonstratable gift, something coming to light, and you being able to really express that in some way. And this is about the full expression of you, something that is innately within you, and overcoming any kind of wound that may be parasitic from you being able to fully expand yourself. The geocentric model basically talks about a compression or suppression of your most beautiful multidimensional sophisticated aspects where you may dim your light, and the other one is where you fully expand it and you shine your light unapologetically. So it kind of reminds me of the moon maiden energy, where there's something that you've been quietly cultivating behind the scenes, and you kept this quiet because it was precious and close to your heart, but the time has come to step forward in this full splendor. Even though others around you may want to capture your light in a bottle, you can rise to the occasion unfailingly as the moon does. It gives me that type of energy with the moon maiden. Okay, so your card is the crossing initiation. So initiation talks about an old paradigm that is dissolving, this bridge of vulnerability to step into the unknown, maybe not knowing who's going to react, how people are going to respond, whatever this is that same bridge that connects you with your full potential. It's you moving into the unknown that allows you to align with your highest possible timelines. Empty well here at the base says there's nothing left for you in a situation, right? Maybe there's a certain paradigm or timeline in which you've been reinforcing around, oh, I don't want to do this thing because I don't want to step on any toes, or anything of this nature. It talks about there's a whole ocean available for you, but you can't talk to well frogs about the ocean who aren't willing to step outside of this well to see it. He's bound by the condition of his environment. You can't expect him to be open to the ocean when he refuses to even maybe look outside of himself, right? Or to look at deeper inside of himself. Maybe that's the paradox. And yeah, it's that type of energy that's coming through. There's something new that's calling you, and it's a new spring oasis, and it lies within the subterranean depths of your own heart. And right now your heart is gently guiding you towards some type of new destination, some type of new paradigm, some type of new portal. So yeah, we're gonna get one more card, and then I'm gonna love and leave you guys right there. We have To Be Fair, and then we also have Milk and Honey. So energy exchanges, okay? This is about you guys definitely hitting some kind of cosmic jackpot, new contracts, new alignments that are coming into resonance with you. And it's happening as you step forward in your most authentic self, right? Being unapologetically yourself. Your authenticity is its own currency, and that is priceless, okay? That is priceless. So To Be Fair and the Land of Milk and Honey. Beautiful, abundant connections that are coming your way. Beautiful, abundant contracts, beautiful, abundant opportunities which you're contracted or you're going to be committing into, okay? Again, like appointments that you're going to be showing up for. I feel like this is an appointment that you have with destiny, right? With your highest timeline that you're going to be showing up for. That's what this feels like. Despite what people may say, despite what they may think, it's like you're doing things according to the calling of the soul. Archangel Michael is about a breakthrough energy that you're going to be going through, overcoming the fear. Maybe feeling the fear, but choosing to do it anyway, okay? And then you have action, right? So acting. This is doubling down on your efforts so that you can see that that full manifestation of yourself, the full manifestation of your life. Okay, it's like you have an appointment with destiny. And I always call Archangel Michael with the royal watchers in the sky. He's one of the royal watchers. Saint Michael is 𝓣𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓪, who's a luck star, and he often plays in the physical realm with the root chakra matchmaker. So this could be, again, Archangel Michael guiding you, or, you know, trying to like align you with very physical, tangible experiences, and is encouraging you to take action in certain areas in your life. So yes, I will pull one more tea leaf message and then we'll go. Right, we have dolphin, so financial gain usually coming in from something that you did in the past, so some kind of karmic credit. We have dealings with a younger man and younger woman, so just be aware of that. This also could be overly sensitive people with a woman, and then also younger man, because it kind of reminds you of immaturity. Maybe, again, just people that are easily triggered, younger women, younger man, maybe people that are just overly aggressive, especially with trouble and accusations here, right? And then we have dark man, could be significant too with November. So this could be for one of you. It could be something around Scorpio or Sagittarius energy where you're breaking yourself free. Dark man could also, again, you kind of embracing that shadow aspect of self and stepping out, right? And expanding and choosing to express yourself despite the accusations, or despite, again, what may be happening, because we have triumph over trouble too. So that could be the divine masculine and feminine principles. Let's see what else. Yeah, you'll be taken care of on difficult times with stuff. We also have, I'm hearing don't expect it to be easy, but it will be worth it. So this is like a huge metamorphosis. A change is coming. Things won't always be this way with caterpillar. So again, you can't really stick wings upon a caterpillar and expect it to fly, you know, or transformations start with it from within. We also have rose, so romance is in the air. So you could be falling in love with life, okay, or even yourself as you unfold petal by petal. We do have disappointment in some affair, or disappointment with a friend or lover. So again, I feel like because you're no longer reinforcing old systems, there are certain networks that are going to be collapsing. That's definitely the energy that's coming through. We have another notification in regards to the countdown is on, okay, and it has the hourglass energy, 3 weeks left. So 3 weeks could be significant for you where you have an appointment with destiny, okay? You have career here at the base. You do have time to act, and women. So again, it's time to act maybe upon a creative opportunity of some kind, hobby, listen to your intuition when it comes to when to take action towards that. We have sun, happiness and well-being. So again, sun is also about location, so maybe you're showing up in a new way. Perseverance is, again, this could actually be physical travel for you guys with 2 location cards and the camel. But yeah, perseverance, and again, that change is coming. So this could change the way that you show up in the world. Korea's 10th house energy. Also change something to do with like the legacy that you're stepping into, the mark that you're wanting to leave behind. But yeah, definitely you showing up in the world very, very differently, and the world seeing you very, very differently as well. So I'm gonna love any of you right there. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. And yeah, you have the central sun here as well. The last card, because they were telling me to pull this. Abundance, downloads, regeneration, and success. The central sun is the main sun, okay? It's the main sun in which we can begin to, it's like a huge portal, essentially. It's a huge portal into other domes, other realities, other realms. And we'll go ahead and read this. It's also connected to the solar plexus. So this is about, you know, confidence, self-trust, also success that's coming your way. It's connected with Ra, the ancient Egyptian god. The central sun is shining brightly on your life and upon the world. It's time to regenerate. Tiredness and old energy are being washed away. Old skins are peeled off and reveal a sacred, more aligned you. This is an exciting central sun. Energy is magnetic, all powerful, opening you up to your light and supporting you as you express your own light in this lifetime. New ideas, opportunities, and experience come easily to you at this point. Like the sun kissing the perfectly ripe soil, the seeds that you planted are being encouraged to grow. Realize that in order to go beyond your horizon, it's important for you to welcome energetic exchanges, right? The right ones. When you help others, you let yourself be helped in return. When you invest energy in projects, you let energy be invested into yourself. So understand where you want your energy to be invested into, right? Where energy is invested, it will be returned to you, okay? And with this energy, it definitely gives me a strong vibe around sometimes the best way to help others is to help yourself. Sometimes choosing something that's in alignment with your highest expression and highest good is also in the highest good of those around you. Sometimes the best way to lead is to do that by example, okay? So until next time, everyone, if you want to join our Discord is also down below as well. Also take a look at Otter Spirit's discount code if you're looking for some beautiful jewelry for all of your manifestation needs. And I will speak to you very, very soon. Until next time, bye.